Going on, everybody, and welcome back to another installment of Keeping It Short. We finally have my buddy Chaz on. I've mentioned him on the show before when we were supposed to have him on for basketball. He always canceled on me. But he's finally here. Chaz, how's it going, buddy?
It's going good, man. It's finally got this thing running, man. It's probably been 4 or 5 different times.
It's been 2 or 3 for sure. I meant to have you on and you couldn't do it.
Yeah,
But
we made it.
Yeah, we finally got some time for him to come on. But we're not going to be talking sports. We're going to be talking the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That's right.
Which is actually kind of ironic. We didn't plan this, but we are both going to see Deadpool 2 tonight, which isn't a part of the Marvel Universe, but is still Marvel. So I'm looking forward to that. But let's go ahead and start with the big topic so far, which is Avengers Infinity War. Chaz, you saw it opening night. What did you think?
Man, going into it, I honestly didn't know what to think. I didn't know. My big questions were actually going to be, how dark was it going to be? You know what I mean? Because like when Civil War happened, like people were saying like, oh, we could possibly see some main characters dying and whatnot. So
it
like,
wasn't going to happen right before the final Avengers. We all knew there was going to be a third Avengers where they were all going to hook up one more time.
Yeah.
We knew it wasn't going to happen for that.
Yeah, so I honestly thought during Civil War that some people might bite the dust. So that tells you where I was at. So going into this, I was like,
I saw Civil War with you.
Yeah, you did. You did. That is true.
You texted me like the day of and said, hey, man, you want to go see Civil War? I was like, I couldn't tell you the last Marvel movie I saw, but I did it because I think at the time I was laid off and I was looking for a job. I didn't know if I'd be able to hang out with you again, so I did it anyway.
That is true. Yeah, you're right. It was me, you, and I think Steve, and I think one of my other friends went and saw Civil War. But the thing that really got to me is how it picked up. Like it picked up when it picks up, like you see dead bodies and Mad Eye Moody, or what's his name?
Mad Eye.
It isn't Mad Eye Moody. What's the dude's name? The guy's name, like Thanos' right hand man.
Ebony Maw.
Ebony Maw. I don't know why I thought
Mad Eye Moody's from Harry Potter.
That's Harry Potter.
Ebony Maw.
You see him stepping over the dead bodies, and then like Thanos just like makes his presence known.
Oh, I know.
And then you just see him. When he takes Loki out, man, you're like, man.
Oh, by the way, we should have mentioned there will be spoilers with this.
Oh, yeah.
And we're only I forgot to mention that. There will be spoilers with this. It's been out for almost a month now.
Yeah,
people, if you haven't seen it by now, it's your own fault.
Out of the loop. But yeah, I knew once the setting, you could tell it was going to be really dark, and his presence was known. And then once he took him out, man, I knew that it was going to be pretty crazy. So
yeah.
that really set the tone for me. After that, I was just anxious to see like how me and you even talked about. I don't know if we talked about it before, but maybe after I saw it and then I was talking to you, was just how they want to get these 64 main characters the screen time that they really need, and which main characters are going to get most of the screen time and all that stuff.
And for the most part, I thought they did a pretty good job.
I know. I thought I saw you mention that. I thought they did too. Whenever I saw an interview, like, because you know how like me and you for like certain shows that we really like, or maybe even movies, we'll like go see interviews of the main characters or the directors, and we'll just see what they got to say. Well, the Russo brothers, who directed this, and they did Civil War also, right?
That sounds right. I think they did another Marvel movie. It was either Avengers 2 or Civil War. I think it was Civil War. I think you're right.
It was Civil War, and then this, and they're doing Infinity Part 2. Well, they said that actually out of the main characters, which I think everybody can at least attest to this once they see the movie, is that Thor was the main point of this one, basically out of all of them. That Thor basically was given the most screen time out of the Avengers. I guess you could argue.
You're probably right, yeah.
Yeah, and when you watch the movie, who pretty much, toward the end.
Who stole the show? It was, other than Thanos, exactly. It was Thor.
That's all I got to say is who stole the show, who are they waiting for to pop up, and like you said, who comes in there and who takes care of business. So that pretty much, I was glad that they rearranged Thor's character. They kept it like, you talked about Ragnarok, how they completely.
I was just about to mention that.
Yeah, you can go with that. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I didn't want to see the Infinity War until I had seen all of the Marvel movies, and even you told me, I think at one point, just go see it. You only really need to see Thor Ragnarok. I said, nah, I haven't watched the majority of these movies. I'll go ahead and watch them anyway. And I'll be totally honest. Thor 1 was fine. Like, it was good. Like, you walked in knowing it was probably going to be pretty good.
You
Thor
couldn't stand
2,
two.
Thor
You didn't like
2, I thought was awful. I was bored rewatching it. And
Yeah.
then I could just tell it was 4 years between Thor 2 and Thor Ragnarok.
Mhm.
And I was like, that's a long time. And I could tell by the trailer, I was like, they went out of their way to revamp Thor. And I think that's why, because the second one was boring, really not that good. Chris Hemsworth said he was bored playing the part. I don't think he said he was done. I don't think he was done playing the part. I think he liked it. But yeah,
he wanted a revamp. He wanted to reset. He didn't want it to be such a dead and like son of Odin. He wanted to have like a personality.
Yeah, and he was that. He was very funny. And the director did too. He was like, "I'm tired of watching you do this role. It's boring." He had some good one-liners in like Thor, Avengers. He had some funny moments, but for the most part, he was stiff as a board the whole movie. Yeah. And so I don't blame him at all for wanting to revamp it. And then Thor Ragnarok, I was very impressed with.
I was gonna say, I figured you'd really love that movie.
I did love Thor, and he didn't even. I'm not even sure he stole the show. I think it was his buddy Korg.
Korg,
the Rock dude. I love
Rock,
Korg.
Yeah, that's all I was thinking. Yeah, that's hilarious.
The revolution has begun.
And then when he meets him in that that pit he has him waiting on before he goes out and fights the Hawk.
Oh no, this is a circle, except it's not a real circle.
but what I loved about it in Infinity is, like I said, it picks off right at the very end of Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, you weren't kidding about that. You were like, it picks up right where Thor Ragnarok leaves off, and you made me. I was watching those movies in order, and you said, no, watch Black Panther, because I got to the final two. You said, watch Black Panther first, then watch Thor, and I did, and you weren't kidding. Wow, it was right where Thor Ragnarok left off.
Yeah, did you, something that a lot of people, I guess my friend, when me and him went and first saw it, did you hear anybody argue about the length time of the movie where it's like a 2 hour and 45 minutes?
I heard it was 2 hours 40 minutes before I saw it, so I thought, man, we're going to be in there all night.
Did it seem that long, or did
no,
it seem...
I heard people say, like, I told somebody it was 2 hours 40 minutes, and they responded, really? It didn't feel like that at all. And then I saw it, and my brother and I saw the movie around 9:45 p.m., and we were out of there after midnight, and I walked out of there, I was like, wow, that did not feel like a 3-hour movie.
Yeah, it was a longer movie, but like you said, if you're really into it, you really like these movies. Like,
and when you have that many characters, you kind of have to make it that long.
Exactly, because like I said, I think they did a pretty good job. Like, you have when you have Robert Downey with Chris Pratt and them, and you have two.
You weren't kidding. You said they had some good lines together, and they did. You're right.
And I'll tell you who I feel like stole the show a lot too, or who did a great job, who actually my dad mentioned too, because I went back and I watched it with him, so I've seen it twice already. Well, it's Benedict Cumberbatch.
He's a great Doctor Strange. Yeah. I think I've said it to my friends. I think that's the most underrated movie in the Marvel universe.
It is very good. It's very good.
It's just, and my friend hit the nail on the head. He said it's perfectly cast. Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange. Tilda Swinton, British as the Ancient One. Rachel McAdams as kind of like the love interest, but also kind of sassy at the same time.
Exactly.
It's perfectly cast, and Cumberbatch does a brilliant job as Doctor Strange.
Like you said, they couldn't have done that part any better.
And he looks just like the character if you've ever seen Doctor Strange. Yeah.
But back to Infinity War, I'll tell you what I really like too, which I don't think me and you talked about how well that you gave Josh Brolin for the credit that he gave Thanos a good personality too. Like, you can you don't really root for Thanos, but you kind of...
There are points where you're rooting for Thanos.
Yeah, you kind of get where he's coming from, like, even though he's crazy, but like, he has a personality, he has a conscience. Obviously, you find out who he really cares about, which would be obviously Gamora. But I mean, he really gave him like a voice almost. He wasn't like an uptight, just I'm here to kill everybody.
Yeah.
He actually has.
He's not your typical villain who is just there to be the antagonist, and you know that the protagonist is going to beat him. It just didn't feel that way.
Yeah, and he's kind of like even when he's fighting him, and like even this part scared me to death. Which I keep thinking we're doing spoiler free, but this is spoiler. It don't matter. But
we're a month into it. Who cares?
When he freaking stabs Tony, dude. I about cried. I thought Robert Downey was biting the dust, man.
I thought so too after that.
If I wouldn't have told you that or something hinted and you're like, well, there's somebody else.
Yeah. I was asking. I really didn't want to know, but it was like one of those things I want to know, but I don't want to know. And I told you my theories. I thought one of the original 6 or 5, because I found out Hawkeye isn't in it, was going to die. One of the original 5 Avengers was going to die for sure. And I thought it was going to be Captain America because Chris Evans said he doesn't, or I don't know if he doesn't want to, but he said he's not going to play the part anymore after the next one.
He wants to end it. He wants to end it while he's kind of on top.
Yeah.
He don't want to oversteep the boundaries.
And Robert Downey Jr. has been in this for 10 years. It might just be time to move on.
He's done after next year, regardless if he lives or dies, which that's debatable. A lot of people think, like we said, like he's dodged death a lot.
Yeah. And then Mark Ruffalo is kind of like Cumberbatch. He's a little too big for this role. And I thought maybe he could just walk away too. Chris Hemsworth, I found unlikely, but after seeing Ragnarok and Infinity War, he could just as easily die too.
The thing is with me is like I said, when I saw
Romanoff, she's just human. She has no powers. She could easily die too.
Exactly. But like when I saw him stab Tony, and you're like, he basically tells him like he respects him and he hopes people remember. I don't know if that's kind of like him just saying that to say it, but he kind of hopes people remember like how he was and how he fought and stuff. And you like,
I love the line when Tony uses just about everything. He throws everything but the kitchen sink at Thanos that one time, and he cuts him a little bit. And Thanos says, "All that for a drop of blood." I love that line.
That was great, man. And I guess since we're on the Tony, which I know there's a good bit we'll go over, but I know it's kind of a big jump, but going from all the people that were with Robert Downey or Tony Stark, which you had like you had Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Drax.
Who, by the way, I really hope. We're going to get into the ending a little bit later, but I'm really hoping to get a scene with Drax and Korg in the same room. I think that would be hilarious.
Dude, please tell me Batista does not play Drax perfect.
Oh, he's phenomenal as Drax. As someone who probably shouldn't be a good actor, he's a former WWE wrestler.
Yeah.
He's just there because he's huge. He fits the role. He's hilarious as Drax.
My favorite part about him, honestly, which I love while they're in the ship and he sees Gamora and Peter making out, and then he's sitting there eating chips, and then what's the girl with the antlers or the
what is her name? I don't remember.
But she says, "Hi, Drax," and he's like, "Damn it!"
I'm moving so slowly that you cannot see me.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hi, Drax." Shit.
Yeah, and then he takes off. But, dude, I love when he laughs. When he laughs, I start laughing. When he just does the laughing dude.
That scene when they find Thor in space and they bring him on the ship and Drax falls in love with him, he's like, "No, you are a dude. This is a man."
This is a man, yeah. That was great, man. But
he looks like if a pirate had sex with an angel.
Yeah, he said a pirate had sex with an angel. Yeah, because he's a god and he has the patch on his eye, or did have the patch on his eye.
Back to Thanos. Is he the best villain in Marvel?
I think, honestly, dude, yes, I think he is.
Who even comes close?
Me, I think Josh Brolin. I don't even know how long Josh Brolin was actually even on set, because I know he was filming Deadpool 2 at the same time. But for the time that he was there and did the voice, dude, I thought he did it beautiful. What do you think?
It's hard to dispute it. I forget which one I watched, and I thought that one's probably the best villain in Marvel. I can't remember who it was.
Wait a minute, is this a Marvel movie or an Avengers movie?
No, it was a Marvel movie. It wasn't anyone from Guardians or Thor.
Was it from Iron Man or Captain?
I don't think so. Bear with me.
Would it be Killmonger?
Yes, that's who it was. It was
Michael B. Jordan.
Yes, Michael B. Jordan. Maybe as it might have been him.
Killmonger was awesome. Michael B. did He did a fantastic
Yes,
job.
I remember. Yes, that was it because I watched that before Ragnarok, and I said, unless Kate Blanchett or Thanos blows me away, I think Killmonger's the best villain in the Marvel universe. And Thanos did. Kate Blanchett was good, but Thanos was a lot better.
And speaking of villains, I think I just forgot his name too. I called him the one from the Harry Potter series. What's his name?
Ebony Maw.
I thought whoever played him did a fantastic. I wish he would have had more screen time.
Yeah, I really do too.
I think he'll actually come back. Actually, that's something that I think will happen. We'll get into those here in a minute. I won't do that, but I think he did a great job.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really know what else to point out.
I know you want to talk about the ending.
Yeah, let's get into the ending now. I'm not really sure what else we can talk about, but let's get into the ending. So, that was a crazy ending. I did not see that coming. I remember my brother saying it ended in a way I thought it would. They didn't win, but that's not the ending I expected. I thought it would be like Thanos finds all 5 Infinity Stones, the first 5, and then the 6th one's about finding that last one so he doesn't get it. And because I knew they weren't going to win. You're not going to have 2 sequels and they're going to win in the first one.
Yeah, something's lost or there's a cliffhanger.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened, but it wasn't the way I expected it. I don't know about you.
Dude, what got me first is like you were saying, I'll go into the ending first or second, but I'll go into the Infinity Stones first. Something I didn't like is him getting all of them. I thought that he would get about maybe 3 of them. And then I figured the Soul Stone would definitely be one that he would not touch. Which I'll get into that. That part when he got Soul Stone actually was the part that hit me the hardest out of all of them. But
that was tough. That was tough.
Yeah, I thought that he'd get about 3 of them. I thought it was a little crazy that he got all 5, but I mean,
there's 6. I thought he would get 5.
Yeah, how he got all of them was still pretty crazy. Did you like how he had all of them in one?
Yeah, I liked how they did it. That's not the way I would have done it, or I'm not sure I would do it that way. That's not the way I expected it to happen, but I do like it. They went Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. So, I mean, I that was pretty cool. But like I said, if I would have done it probably like 2 or 3 of them and left, especially Soul Stone, but how they did that was beautifully wrote.
Now, we don't know what the sequel's going to bring, so it could be – we might see why they did it that way. But for now, I can understand that reasoning.
Yeah. But now here's getting to the ending. Most people were saying that everybody pre-snap is dead for real. So
that's what I'm thinking too, honestly.
So people that have seen it or haven't, Gamora is the one that. Well, you can go ahead and say it.
Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's only Gamora, Loki, and Heimdall are the ones that died before the snap.
Yeah, and you can say why Gamora.
So he could get the Soul Stone. I really didn't think he'd do it. Or I shouldn't say I didn't think he'd do it. Once they got there, I thought she lied to him, honestly, at first.
Yeah.
And then they got there, and that was the real place. And they said a soul for a soul. I'm like, well, he's not going to back down. There's no way. They can make it seem that way, but it's not. He's going to kill her.
The only thing is, though, I mean, this is kind of getting off topic. There's definitely a Guardians 3 coming out. So,
and that's the thing.
And if you go by the ending, once he snaps his fingers, Chris Pratt's one of the people that dissolves in the air. So, I mean, how are you going to have
the entire Guardians of the Galaxy dies
except Rocket? Except Rocket, yeah. They drift away. They kind of, how would you explain it?
Dissolve's a good word.
Dissolve's a good
Dissolve
word. Just
or let's just go with dissolve. That's the best word for it.
Yeah. Well, basically how that happens is
turn to dust, you could say.
Yeah, Thor shows up with he gets what's it called? What's his hammer called?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Thunder. No, it isn't.
It starts with an M.
I'll think of it, but when he hits him when he throws that at Thanos, and Thanos throws all the Infinity Gauntlet at him, and it just hammers right through there, and then he says you should have went for the hand or my hand, and he snaps. They just start dissolving, and I'll tell you a lot that hit a lot of people, which I feel like it kind of deserved a little bit more time because of how close they were. Is the Peter Parker, the Tom Holland?
I was gonna say we have to talk about that.
Yeah, and the
Mr.
Robert
Stark,
Downey.
I don't feel so good.
Yeah, I like that. I wish it would have he kind of would have dissolved a little bit slower, so it could have had. But it kind of gave Robert Downey. Robert Downey kind of played, and he didn't have enough time to even get what he was seeing. He didn't even realize what was happening in front of his face. You know what I mean? But that was. I feel like I heard a lot of people cry.
I heard that scene that line was improv. That Tom Holland improvised that bit.
Really?
Yeah, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good, and I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
That was tough. That was tough to watch. But if we think so, all the ones that dissolved, which the one that got you is T'Challa.
Dude, I love T'Challa. I cannot believe that. I texted you right after it, and it was the same thing. How can they kill off the entire Guardians of the Galaxy when there's a sequel to be made? How can they kill off Spider-Man when there's a sequel to be made? How can they kill off Doctor Strange and Black Panther when their franchises have just begun? I don't get it.
Something that a lot of people think too, though, is, which I don't know if they think their characters have kind of went their peak, is, I don't know if you probably might maybe agree, is Scarlet Witch and the Vision. They kind of, a lot of people think that them two might not show back up, but I'm like you. I think everybody after the snap, maybe all of them might not come back, or if they do, some of them will die again for real. But I think ones like Spider-Man will definitely be back. He has a sequel coming out, unless Homecoming Part 2 is before Infinity War Part 1 started, which I highly doubt it. Guardians, you can't not have
Chris Pratt, Star-Lord.
Yes. And I mean, you could have him if Gamora isn't there.
I think Gamora is replaceable. It's a character you want to have. I think she has some good moments, but you could probably do it without her. You could probably do it without Mantis is her name, the girl with the antenna.
Yeah.
Maybe without Groot. He only said 3 words. But,
you need Rocket.
Yeah, you need Rocket. I think you need Drax, and you need Star-Lord. I think you need Gamora, but you could probably do it without her.
I think you do too, but like I said, that's the part that hit me the most. But I think if it stuck, it would kind of still hit. It would be something that's legitly, like, it's dark, you know what I mean? It's something that's very emotional because it's a different toll with Marvel, man. You know what I mean? It's been in the past, like, you could categorize this movie as a lot of kids would be very disappointed, like sad seeing this movie. Probably some younger kids should even see it, you know?
I mean, could you imagine if we were kids and seeing that? We're not used. I mean, we've grown up in this era, kind of with Game of Thrones. We're kind of used to, okay, someone has to die.
Yeah, exactly.
In order to beat the bad guy. But when we were kids, it wasn't really the case. You had all the main characters live, and I think kids still live with that. But we're experiencing Game of Thrones, so we know, okay, someone has to die if they're going to get out of this.
Yeah, exactly. The only things, like with this movie, there's a couple things that I'm wondering of how it's going to play, which we can still allude to the ending. You want to still talk about the ending? Or?
Yeah. I got one thing, or I should say a theory, but if you want to keep talking about it, that's fine.
No, go ahead. You say it, and then I'll tell you what I was saying.
Okay, well, so one theory, I guess we're getting to theories now. One theory I heard today was, remember that place after Thanos snaps his fingers? He goes to that place with the baby Gamora, with the little Gamora.
He wakes up in the water and then gets up.
There's a theory that's called like the soul world or something, and everyone who perishes goes there. And maybe they find a way to get out. I mean, if they do, they have the guy to do it, Doctor Strange.
Yeah, that's what I heard. See, that's what I thought that a soul world would be where the soul stone was, because I heard so many theories about, is the soul stone actually in the soul world or whatever. So that's something that was pretty crazy. That is something I could actually see.
But apparently the next one's going to involve a lot of time travel.
Yes, it's going to involve a lot of time travel, a lot of flashbacks too, because they said that it's going to have a lot of flashbacks. I did hear that. Theories, I really don't have any theories. Like, that's a very good one, other than going off of, like I said, I think anybody post-snap is susceptible to showing back up. I think definitely some of them will come back. Instead of theories, I'm kind of just, there's so many cliffhangers. Like, I don't even know where Thanos ends up. I don't know how he plans because the gauntlet's pretty much really messed up. But I don't know where he's at.
But the stones were intact. I don't think the gauntlet matters.
Yeah, the stones. Yeah, but where is he, and how would they reach him? You know,
how are they going to find Tony Stark? He's the only one left on Titan.
Or
Nebula. I forgot about
Nebula.
her. Yeah.
Him and Nebula are the only ones alive there. That and pretty much where they go from there, because they kind of like, I think they said they're divided, but they're kind of, it's just like a, where do we go from now? Like, how do we put aside like what happened between Tony and Steve Rogers in Civil War, and like our losses? How do we gather this up?
It's all setting up for that. It's all setting up. I think it's kind of poetic, actually, that the original Avengers will put aside their differences. They'll join with Captain Marvel, who's apparently going to show up, or not apparently, is going to show up, and they're going to band together. They're going to fix the wrong. I think we both agree with that. They're going to find a way to get at least half the civilians in the universe back. Maybe not the superheroes, but at least the civilians. You can't have a scenario where half the universe and civilians die.
Exactly. And I guess if we were talking about theories earlier, something that I do think happened is, like we said, how you got this younger generation of new superheroes coming around. I think that the role will be reversed like this past movie. I think a lot of the older main ones, like, I hope not Tony Stark or Robert Downey, but Robert Downey, Chris Evans, who plays Captain America, maybe Bruce Banner plays the Hulk. Some of those guys will die. We'll end up giving their lives.
I think so too. I think it's setting up for that. It's setting up for the old guys, and they'll get the new superheroes back who died in Infinity War, and they'll finally, like the other Avengers movies, there's always that scene where they all band together and they fight as one unit and they win, and that's going to happen. They're going to beat Thanos, more than likely. But in that process, I think you're looking at a lot of the original guys, Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, maybe, dying. And I think you're looking at Captain Marvel and like Black Panther or somebody being the leader, Spider-Man. The new leader of Spider-Man being the new leader of the Avengers.
Yeah, but like I said, I hope, like, it's nothing against like women or whoever, or what's the woman playing Captain Marvel?
Brie Larson.
Yeah, which is a very attractive girl, but I don't think they should bring her in just to kill Thanos. Like,
yeah, I will admit, and it's nothing against her. I'm not a fan of this new character all of a sudden being the most powerful girl, not girl, but most powerful hero, and then destroying Thanos when we only have 1.5 movies of her.
Exactly. It should be somebody, like you said. If you think about it, it should be Thor. I mean, realistically, I guess you could say if anybody can do it, Thor is the one.
Thor can do it without the Infinity Stones, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, or it should be the originals. Maybe if some give their life trying to do it, but them all going together and actually doing it. And if she helps, that's cool. But if you just have her doing it and like Thor,
I will agree with that. You're kind of like, this new character, I don't trust her, and we're supposed to believe she's the most powerful one. I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't mind it if she really is that powerful. We'll see. The Captain Marvel movie comes out before Avengers Part 2 or Infinity War Part 2. So we'll see. If she is that powerful and she's a badass like T'Challa, I'll be like, all right, cool.
And something else before we move on, or before this is over with, is they are saying, because Ant-Man and the Wasp comes out July 17th, I think.
That sounds right, yeah.
Yeah. He is not technically a go. Like, he'll be in the second one, but he might be one they have to bring back too, because they said at the end credits or at the end of the movie, or at the end credits possibly, you could see him dissolving possibly.
No, he's got a movie. And there's photos of him on the set. Oh, I see what you mean. At the end of the Ant-Man?
Because they already said that the reason he wasn't in this is how he's on house arrest, and Hawkeye is too, is this happens at the same time Infinity War is going on. I see what you mean. And then he might dissolve at the end. What you see in Ant-Man and the Wasp is going on at the same time.
Okay. I see what you mean.
And a lot of people are saying that he'll either be alive or he might dissolve in the end. And one more thing is people were saying, or what'll bring Hawkeye back is apparently the saying that his family will all dissolve and he will be the only one left, and that'll make him want to fight back because he planned to retire and promised his wife. But they're saying
I think that's probably going to happen. I just looked at it. If you look at it, there's like 16 people in the Avengers, and I think 7 of them are still around. 9 of them died or dissolved. I think there's still Captain America, Iron Man, the Hulk, Thor, Romanoff. I think Wanda's still around. War Machine's still around. I think that's it. I think it's those 7.
Well, I mean, are you meaning original or are you meaning everybody?
I just mean out of anyone. Because
Nebula.
I think that's it. So
Nebula.
She's not really a part of it. She's in the movie, but she's not part of the Avengers, is what I mean. But so that's kind of not balanced, as Thanos likes to say, that's not balanced. So I think that brings in Hawkeye and Ant-Man to come into the sequel and be a part of it.
Well, I guess it would be what's the girl's name? She's been in several movies playing the Wasp.
I don't remember her name in the movie, but it's Evangeline Lilly is the actor.
Yeah, she's played movies, and if you add her too, and plus Captain Marvel.
I forgot about Captain Marvel. Yeah, that's
so,
not exactly balanced. Maybe the Wasp dissolves.
Yeah,
that gets Ant-Man
motivated.
One of those
things will happen, or he'll dissolve.
One of those 2 will dissolve. Captain Marvel will come in, and she'll save the day or whatever.
And did you like the post credits? How that happened?
Yeah.
Did you like how Shield?
I didn't think Nick Fury would dissolve. I really didn't.
Yeah, Nick Fury. Yeah, and then how he I didn't even realize that was Captain Marvel's signal that he hit on the thing until I heard somebody behind me in the thing say it, because I haven't read much of the comics.
Oh, I haven't either. I didn't know what that was either until I looked it up, and I just looked up. I figured that's what it was, and I looked up Captain Marvel, and yeah, she kind of has that on her chest or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I heard somebody behind me at the premiere say it. So I was like, well, I knew there was a Captain Marvel movie coming out, and my other friend had gave me a scoop on her, what he was like in the comic, and said that it's basically the strongest out of all
That's
of them.
The rumor, is she's the most powerful one.
Yeah.
She can time travel and do just about everything.
That's what everybody said, so that's gonna be something crazy. See, but the post credits were
I thought it was interesting. It really puts it into effect that this wasn't just the superheroes. It was the entire universe.
That actually does make it cool. Yeah. You're exactly right.
But my man, it was great having you on. It is about time for me to go. My movie starts at 9. It takes about 15 minutes to get there. Yeah.
All right, brother. Well, you enjoy the movie. I'm sure I'll be texting you. You'll probably get out before me.
Yeah, I'm about 45 minutes ahead of you, so I'm sure we're gonna have a reaction to it. I'm sure it's getting great reviews. Deadpool 2, can't wait.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're saying it's getting pretty daggone good reviews. They say actually, I thought I heard that some people thought Josh Brolin did a better job at Cable than he did at Thanos. So
we'll see. He said he enjoyed being Thanos more.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, you know, Ryan Reynolds is going to shout out Deadpool. There's nobody else better.
Yeah. All right, but I got to get going. So thanks for coming on. We will have you on again, maybe to talk NBA Finals. Not far away.
Yes, sir, brother. Maybe your Celtics will be there.
It's looking good right now.
All right, man. Take it easy. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Thanks.
Later, man.
Later.